Hello, Search here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a question that came in to customer service from Sam Leeper. And Sam says, Dear Serge, I have played golf for nearly 50 years. I'm 73. 15 years ago I had a 9+ handicap, change of index. Today I'm 15.5. The only consistent thing in my swing in all these years has been an outside to in swing, resulting in a backspin on the ball and anything ranging from a small fade to a huge slice. Wind is my arch enemy, and any club longer than 7 will be short. In my younger years, I had sufficient strength to overcome this malady, but no longer. My self-diagnosis, supported by many different club pros, is that I am a terrible arm swinger and therefore tend to cast the club. That means he's saying he's coming out over the top, outside to in, casting the club. Many pros have attempted to correct my problem without success. I have attempted to adopt the PPG method, including attending one of your full-day sessions, but the problem persists. Can you give me any drills that can help me correct this terrible habit? One thing that I think would help me immensely would be to see your swing, one you use in the opening lead to all your daily videos in slow motion from the side, looking down your aiming line as well as the front. I am particularly interested in seeing the path of your right elbow in the down or forward swing. Would this be possible in one of your daily videos? Thanks, Sam Leeper. It is not possible in one of my dailies, Sam, because I'm a one-man show here. I set up the whole driving range here, and I do it all myself. There's nobody here to help me. There's no one behind the camera. I push the button to start the camera, and I come here. But what I'll do is I'll try to do it in a slow motion, be swinging slowly. All right, and talk your way through it. But before I do that, I have to look at some of the ultimate causes of what could be causing the outside in swing. All right, first and foremost, aiming to the right. Okay, I'm going to put an arrow down here, and if this is my aiming line, and I'm going to try to put this at the camera. All right, and I think that's pretty square onto the camera, and I'm supposed to be parallel left. All right. At address, but instead I line up to the right, and now instead of this being my aiming line, I'm now parallel. I'm swinging out parallel to that line. All right, look what I have. If my alignment was correct, I'd be swinging straight down from there. I'd come straight back and up, straight down and through and up. But if I end up aiming to the right and I'm trying to hit a relatively straight shot to the ball, the club has to come back to this line to hit it straight to the target, because that's what you're trying to hit. All right? The club has to approach the ball on the aiming line, strike it on the line and be square, leave on the line accelerating, and hit the ball solid in the sweet spot while doing the first 3. So even if you were lined up square, and even if you made a perfect peak performance swing where you turned only to your toe line, but now to the toe line that is based on your alignment being out to the right, you'd be right here. And if you swung straight down that line, you'd be hitting the ball dead right. Right. So your brain doesn't want to do that. Your brain figures out there's a problem, so it has to come back to this line. And the only way back to this line is you have to come out over the top. All right? So the first thing you have to start checking is your alignment. When you came to a daily golf school, we talked about alignment. It was one of the first things we talked about. And what do we have? Every time we do a golf school and we do a daily at it, we give the count for how many people are lined up square. And this year we're on 0. In all the history of over 3.5 years of doing peak performance golf schools, we've had only one person who was correct throughout the whole school. One out of all the students we've had, and we're still on 0 this year. So if you're parallel, if you're supposed to be like this but you ain't right, you have to come over the top. Another major reason for coming over the top is turning a little bit too much. And if you turn too much and swing straight down, you're going to hit it dead right. So again, if you get deep, turn too much and get in the sacred barrel ground, you have to come back over the top. All right? Another one could just be swinging a little bit too far. And when you take too much of a backswing and you tilt a little too forward, and usually anybody who swings a little bit too far to parallel is likely going to turn a little bit too much. And if you get any kind of tilt this way, you're going to and you start to push off, you can come out and across the ball real easy from there. That's why the 3/4 swing is so good, because is it helps you make a limited turn, especially if you keep the wide knees out with pressure, and what goes straight up wants to come straight down. Again, look, ultimately, you could have a couple of other issues that just what we might call the hit instinct. All of those things have developed that you start your downswing with your upper body rather than your lower body. Because if you start with your upper, you're almost invariably all the time just going to be coming, if this is the top of the swing, you're going to come in and you start with your shoulders, or the hit instinct, or especially what I've always said, why do we not think about hitting down on the ball? Because I believe without a doubt, if you get at the top and you want to hit down on the ball, it's going to activate your upper body, and if it activates your upper body, you're in pulling down, you're also sliding forward, and boom, you're down in your head of it, and the club will be where? Out and over the top. Whereas if you stand here and you swing up to the tee finish, right? Just like skipping a rock on a lake. So there's one of your first drills, skipping a rock on a lake. Get up here, tee finish. All right? You swing up to your tee finish. Skipping that rock. Your lower body always starts first, which means your hips go. Your head falls backwards a little bit because the hips run away from the upper body. The head goes back. Dr. Armstrong calls that the secondary spine angle tilt. And then as soon as your arms drop, boom, you're straight down. So those are a couple drills. Another good drill is you get in a door jam. Get in your house, get in a door jam. I'm going to use the club here as a door jam. You get maybe about a ½ inch away from your foot of door jam, because if you bump, practicing your bump, you should be hitting it. You should only hit it with your outside of your forward knee and your hip. You should never get your shoulder into it, because if you get in here and you hit it with your shoulder, you find that if you hit it with your shoulder, your knee and your calf of your leg is moving away from it. They got to go into it, all right? So that gives you the sense of what you want there. Shadow swing. Put a shadow, get outside, put the sun at your back, and watch your transition where you swing and you go down, and you can see the head going back a little bit. Secondary spine angle tilt, because the lower body runs away from the upper, the spine goes back, the head goes back. It goes back just a little bit, and as quick as it's back, I'm swinging my arms up, so the head pops up like that. That's part of what I call swinging up and standing up AFAP. I want you to stand up like a Pop-Tart out of a toaster. That's what I call the dipsy doodle. The head goes backwards a little bit and pops right up. It's like a comma. Boom, and it's up. Just like skipping a rock. Okay? So those drills will help there. I guess the last thing you want is you want to see me swing in slow motion and watch my right arm. I think I'll do a kind of kitty corner here, so this way so you can see it. My arm goes straight up as I come down really slow. You can see that my right arm is maintaining its right angle, and I've made my bump and I'm coming through. And it just comes right under. It comes in and just. I can feel this part of my arm comes back it comes back to my chest. On the top front part of my chest, right in here, is where I feel it brush. I don't ever get stuck in the back. You always hear about golfers getting stuck. Why is that? Because they get stuck because if they turn too far and they get the arm way behind them, they're stuck. They got to come out over the top. So again, that's why I'm saying a big turn and or aiming to the right. Doing both of them is really going to make you come over the top. But what goes straight up should come straight down. And as I'm coming down, the underside of my arm here is brushing the top side of my right arm is brushing that, just as my left arm is barely brushing my body over here. All right, and that's I have the drill where I would have thought that if you have a breast pocket on each side and you put a pack of cigarettes in them, we never crush them. We clear them. We don't crush. But my arms do that right side does brush my arm, does brush my body right here. But by the time it reaches my pocket, it's already gone. Just like when this one finally is brushing it, it's already past that pocket. All right? And they don't touch them. All right? So there is a little brushing going on here. So hopefully this answers your question. I would think possibly a thought of hitting down on the ball, and maybe it's only subconscious now, because I'm always preaching here from the backyard pulpit that we swing up because we want shallow divots, thin to win. We want to tear the grass out of the ground. We want to nip the ball, to clip the ball. We want the club almost feeling like it just ricochets off the ground. That's why I love hitting off mats. So just the thought of hitting down, even if you're not doing it subconsciously, could be part of the issue there. But I would check your alignment, and then check how much you're turning, and then lastly, check your timing. Proper sequential movement of the parts of the body, where your downswing starts with the bump, the upper body goes back, and that should keep you behind the ball. All right, and not coming over the top, but swinging slightly, coming down from the inside and squaring up at impact. So we have that on, square and solid accelerating impact so we can hit better shots and shoot those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.